What's going on? I just got back from seeing Christopher Nolan's newest joint, Oppenheimer, and I know usually I do like fresh out of the theater in my car when I see a new film, but this one, I had to ride home and unpack the movie because it is so dense, it's long, and it just gives a lot of information up. So let me start with saying that this is an excellent film. Like, no debating. Everything that people are saying is true. Christopher Nolan once again proves why he is one of the GOAT filmmakers of this time. People like to put him in the modern category, but no, I'm putting him in the all-timers because he continues to perform at such a high level, and his direction is just fantastic from start to finish. So, gotta say that first. Second thing is, these movies really aren't my type of thing. So I don't. It's like it was entertaining to watch, and I enjoyed watching it. But this is a movie that I probably won't watch again, just because again the subject matter isn't really what I lean towards, and it's very heavy. But I had to get that out there. So I just want to kind of balance the scale with like, it's an excellent film, and I can definitely point out all the technical aspects that I loved about it and the filmmaking, but this isn't really something that I enjoyed like that, so wanted to put that out there first. So that being said, knowing that this material isn't my type of thing, this film for me personally was like just going to film class. Like, you know, when you sit in class and it's kind of like you're learning something that you know that you really aren't into, but you need to learn it because of learning the basics of how to do it. This was another one of those for me. You know, Nolan to me is again one of the best of all time. He's the best of this generation. Like when he started from that point to now, easily the best. He makes these films that are very engaging. He has a way of making everything intensify with just his framing and the way he writes his scripts and all of that. I mean, partially in the first sequence, like just how he makes this green apple feel like such a big thing that and it's just a moment in the movie. It just passes on, but he just is able to hone in on whatever he wants, and it can be so small but intensifies to a scale like I haven't seen many directors do. You know, so I love what Chris did with that aspect. I mean, the entire film just feels like a sense of unease because you know where it's headed. You know, the first, like I would say, the first two acts, well, the first half of the film is kind of Oppenheimer, his upbringing, and how he got to the point of creating this nuclear bomb. So and you see flashbacks of, you know, his younger self to present time of some of the things that ends up happening to him after the bomb. You know, he gets accused of what is it? He gets accused of being a communist and all of those things that come with it, and you see glimpses of that. So it's like a storyline. It's like a timeline, but it's not really all linear. And they even play with black and white to kind of tell you what's now and what's, you know, in the past. And it's a massive story. So the building of Oppenheimer, this character, there's so many different cameos and actors who step in for just a scene to lend a hand here and there, and it just is mind-boggling just to know that Nolan is just that guy that people will be in a movie just for a second because they know that he is a top-tier director. And again, the tension, man, it's just it's one of the highlights of the film for me. Like specifically that the scene when they actually get to the testing position, and it's the way that the editing is done and to really build on what you're about to see, from showing them build the makeshift city and just showing them use the chemicals and all this equipment to build this bomb, and they're showing them piece it together as these many ideas are being thrown around about why and all of that. And then when you finally get to the testing scene and it's a countdown and it's just the music just, if you know Nolan, he is a master at using music to really form a mood. It's no different here. But specifically on that scene when the testing and the button is being pressed, you just really feel the intensity of that. And he does something that I didn't expect him to do when that happens with sound, and I thought it was great. So it intensified that. And the moment that really stuck out to me, and this may be getting into a little spoiler territory, so I'm going to try and do my best to tiptoe around it, but there's a moment when Oppenheimer has a speech for a certain thing, and Chris does this magnificent thing with the background that as he's speaking, and it just, I guess that moment hit me so hard because of this moment in the film when good old America was celebrating. I couldn't help but think about the other side of that, and I'm like, it feels nuts to me that something like this would be celebrated at such a scale, and you can see it playing out on Oppenheimer's face, and just the things that he sees. Because one dope thing that they do in the film is when Oppenheimer is talking or even thinking about stuff, it kind of cuts. It has cut scenes as to what he's thinking about. You see certain imagery here and there all throughout the film. So in this moment right here, it really, oh man, it really made me feel bad, honestly, just about humanity. I think that's one of the things that this film does. It's like we create this powerful weapon to quote unquote protect ourselves, not really caring about what it could do. And that scene in particular definitely doubled down on that concept, and it really had me in my feelings, just like. And same in Cillian Murphy's face, who played the role incredibly as well. Facial expressions. There are scenes that you just, he's receiving information from someone, and you could just see on his face that he's like either thinking about what they're saying or he's not hearing it at all. And they use this. There's a sound effect that happens when you can tell that he's zoning out, that they use a lot. And within context of the film, I thought it was something else based on the trailer, but when they show where it comes from, it's like, it just makes you, it made me feel differently. Man, this movie is a confliction, period, in a good way, of like where you stand on humanity. It honestly floored, to be real. I'm sitting here talking about, my entertainment value of it, but man, just thinking back now of the scope of the film and all the places it went, it's honestly just astounding. And notes are being taken here. All of the actors, the performances, Matt Damon, Robert Downey Jr. just, oh man, being I think he was, I forgot what his title was, but I know he controlled the energy. I forgot, again, I'm bad with these type of names, but I know what his position was in the movie, but I just can't really say it because it's staring me right in my face, but it's blurry. But just seeing his characterization and how he just handles it from the first half of the film to how he is in the second act of the film. This is the side of Robert Downey that we haven't seen in quite some time. This trumps anything that they did in the MCU. For those who have seen the MCU and it's all they're known for, trumps that by miles. And this is the Robert Downey Jr. that a lot of us are used to, who seeing him prior to Iron Man. But incredible performances all around. Like I said, every actor showed up to play. And every actor just really gave you the gravitas of the situation in so many ways that you can't help but be engaged with what's going on. Honestly, like I'm trying to think about what else I can say without spoiling it, because I almost jumped into spoiler territory. But that moment, like I was saying, that during the speech is just home hitting in so many different ways, and it even plays itself out in the third act when Oppenheimer has to defend himself, and it's kind of like he's getting the same heat that you would expect that the victims got. And oh my god, it's so good, man, so good. What a film this was. 3 hours. It honestly didn't really feel like it. It zoomed by. Even knowing where the story was headed, I know we're gonna go to this point, but it still felt excellently paced for what it was. I like the ending that Nolan did, where he brings back a moment that was in the beginning of the film that he purposely left off, and just how full circle of a moment it was, and it just was that's all I really can say. That's about all I can say without spoiling it and getting to specifics. Excellent film. I don't know where this lands in Nolan's filmography, but incredible. Nonetheless, just an incredible film. So if you've seen Oppenheimer, let me know in the comments below. What do you think about the film? Where would you place it? I've seen a lot of people saying that this is magnum opus. I'm not really sure if I'm ready to give this movie that title, but damn good film, and I learned a lot from it. It was engaging, entertaining, and all of the above. So that's all I gotta say. If you like this kind of content, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, thank you. And until next time, peace. RapNerd Productions, no capping, that's word to mommy.